Today we're going to be covering the 911 call Iceberg. I haven't seen anybody else do this, but it kind of makes sense since it's only a day old. Anyway, it's by the Reddit user GreenieBoy72, and pretty much all the explanations from this come from the Reddit user Not an Octopus, or however you say that. So I'm just going to let you guys know I'm having both of those linked down below, both the comment that I got pretty much all the explanations from, and of course the original post. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, of course, we're going layer by layer here. All of these layers are pretty sparse. I mean, I think the layer with the most is like 6 subjects. So, this isn't going to be a very long video, but regardless, I'm going to go into detail about each one. So, we're going to start off with Ruth Price. Ruth Price was a woman who was attacked in the middle of a 911 call. Some people don't know if it's necessarily real. I didn't know how I wanted to put it, if I want to say valid. But yeah, people don't know if it's real. And since people don't know if it's real, it's led to a lot of people wondering if it was just an acted out phone call. As far as I know, there is no concrete confirmation that this call is a real 911 call. None that I can find. I've never heard of a news article. I've watched videos about this before. I've watched people research it before. I've never seen a news article. I've never heard of anybody reporting this. I don't know if it's actually real or not, but it is disturbing nonetheless, and it does represent a real, I guess, phenomenon that people experience where they really hear somebody get attacked and on a 911 call. I mean, that happens. Nicole Simpson, if you don't know who that is, it's the woman that was taken out by O.J. Simpson. You can hear O.J. Simpson yelling in the background on this call. I mean, it's pretty disturbing, but there's not a lot to say about it. The next one is Sandy Bradshaw. This is someone that was on one of the flights during the 9/11 attacks, and they were on the 911 call describing the terrorist to the 911 operator. Jake Evans. So, Jake Evans is a 17-year-old who described the homicide that he committed of his mother to the 911 dispatcher. To get deeper into this explanation, in 2012, Jake Evans, who is from Aledo, Texas, called 911. He basically told the operator that he had riddled his mother and sister with bullets, and the sheriff really couldn't understand why he did this. They never really knew who he was, and I think that's because he was homeschooled. He wasn't really a part of, the system like that, so there wasn't much in terms of records of him or how he acted or anything like that. But anyway, when his father was out of town and his 2 older sisters weren't home, he used a .22 revolver and did that to his mother and his sister, and then made the infamous 25-minute 911 call. And he did, in fact, not only describe what he did, but he also monotonely confirmed to the operator that he'd done what he did. Very disturbing stuff right there. Sandra Harold, or Sandra. She was a woman who called 911. She was not the one that was attacked by the chimp, as this explanation says. She was actually the one that called 911 while her friend was being attacked by the chimp. And you can hear it screaming in the background. You can hear her saying that, it's killing her friend and stuff. The 911 operator in this call was very irritating because he kept reiterating the question over and over like they couldn't hear it in the background. I found it very odd, but either way, she was not the one getting attacked. She was the owner, and I think she passed away in around 2010 or something like that. The reason the chimp actually attacked this friend was, I believe they gave it Xanax. I don't remember the actual reasoning behind it, but they did give it Xanax. I'm remembering it better. I feel like it was having some type of problem, and instead of actually taking it to the vet, they figured that would work for some reason. Obviously, it didn't. And the friend has gone through many facial reconstructive surgeries. I can't remember if she had to get a full face transplant. I'm sure there will be a picture on the screen, or if I have to correct anything, it'll be on the screen as well. But yeah, That's pretty much that one. The County Bigfoot scene, it is a scene from a movie from 2012 that used a real 911 call from the 90s that was about Bigfoot. Pretty simple. Alex Crane was a 14-year-old that committed the homicide of both of his parents and then proceeded to call 911 about it. To go a little bit further into this, he did it in 2010. He was born in 1996, and as far as I know, he was charged as an adult, even though he was 14, which makes sense. He was charged with manslaughter. He got 2 counts of it. The max was 30 years. To conclude, he got sentenced to 20 years in prison. There's not really a lot else to say besides that, but there you go. The Miami Zombie call. I think most people know what the Miami Zombie is referring to. It's an event that happened where basically someone accused a homeless man of stealing his Bible and then began to eat him, as you do, after he beat him. And he also removed his pants. I don't know why he did that part, but anyway, someone's calling 911 about it, and they're like, I just saw this guy eat this guy. Literally. So, not fun. Not very fun at all. Lisa's 911 call. A child who called 911 as her stepfather was beating her mother. To elaborate further, basically, to make a long story short, Lisa herself actually did elaborate on the situation. She claimed that CPS actually came to their house many times, up to 23 undocumented cases, and she never got taken away from her parents. It's also said that she did overcome the trauma that she did experience from seeing her mother get beaten all the time and the other things that she experienced in that household. And she says that she did break the cycle and that, she hasn't been in violent relationships herself, and that basically she made it out. She's overcome it. Very powerful stuff. Shout out to Lisa. I'm glad you made it out, especially after that 911 call that, has been used to educate a lot of other people on the reality of these type of situations. You're doing a lot of good out here. I appreciate you. Brandon Lawson. Brandon Lawson refers to a man that went missing around August of 2013. He went missing in Bronte, Texas. And this 911 call is just about him hallucinating, allegedly, and making an erratic call that was kind of incoherent after he ran out of gas on the highway. As of the recording of this video, which is July 20th, 2021, no remains of him nor him alive have been found. So he has been missing for a long time now. The only aftermath of this call that I could find was that there was a search party organized that did look for him, but they never found him still. So who knows where he is, if he even is still alive, and if there are remains of him. Nobody's found them yet, so who knows. Antoinette Cayedito refers to a very, very popular, I guess, cold case. I don't know if it is a cold case because it's never been solved, but it's also just a mystery in general, an unsolved mystery. That's the phrase I was looking for. It's a famous unsolved mystery about this girl that was kidnapped, I think, in the late 80s in New Mexico. And obviously, even now, she's still never been found. No remains, nothing. This is a 911 call where she is basically hinting, I think, at the operator of what's going on or something like that. I remember that her mom did actually hear this 911 call and confirm that it was her voice. You can even hear a man in the background of the call saying, "Who said you could use the phone?" And then obviously the line went dead because I'm assuming she either hung it up or he hung it up for her. Another very, very interesting thing, to not go too deep into this because it's a very deep case, is that 3 years after she got kidnapped, her 25-year-old aunt also got kidnapped. And she was also never found. So, it's very, very suspicious. It almost makes you wonder if it was because of someone in the family that these people were disappearing. It could just be coincidental, but it's kind of odd that not even remains of either of these people were ever found still. And they were both kidnapped in 1986 and 1989, and it's 2021 right now. So just something to think about. Dustin Duthie, or Duthie, or Douchey, I don't know what his name is. He was a man that committed a homicide of his parents and his girlfriend and told the 911 operator what he did. If you want to have any updates, he was, in fact, sentenced to life in prison. This did happen in Calgary, Canada, and it happened in 2018. Kimberly Corbin. This is a woman who was assaulted, to put it nicely, at college, and she called 911 and told the operator about it. Luckily, her assaulter is currently in jail and hopefully will stay in there. Nikki's 911 call. A girl who found her brother after he took his own life. Very disturbing stuff. Sinclair's 911 call. A man who shot his wife and then described what he did to the operator. I just cannot believe how many people have taken somebody's life on this list. But I can, but I can't. Like, man, okay. Roseborough's 911 call. Man who beat and strangled his wife, who later told 911, I believe my wife just drowned. Now, I gotta break out of the immersion for a second and question how you thought, after not only strangling somebody, which would leave obvious marks, but also beating them, which would leave even more obvious marks, and trauma, which would all be seen after not only someone just looking for 5 seconds that has any idea of what they're looking at, but also after an autopsy. Not really sure where you thought that was gonna go. I can imagine you're probably in jail for life right now, and you definitely deserve it. So, Dr. Timothy Roses, a man who shot his ex-girlfriend and then himself. To elaborate further on this, I went to the Daily Mail for this. They have claimed that he did this because she revealed a new lover on Facebook after they had already broke up. And so you hate to see something like that. I hope she's at peace now. I hope he's not. And that's really all I gotta say. Very sad stuff. To clarify, though, her boyfriend was the one that actually saw the entire thing happen. That's right. He didn't just come to see the aftermath. He saw the whole thing happen. And then he called 911 right afterwards. So that is actually where the 911 call is coming from. It's coming from the boyfriend in that situation. Miliani RL, or Mililani RL, which I think is probably what it's actually called, is possibly referring to the April 14th, 2021 shooting in Honolulu, Hawaii. During this 911 call, a woman stated that a man named Lyndon from South Africa had entered her home. You can hear her husband conversing with him during the call as she claims they have no idea who he is and that he just introduced himself. She claims he's not armed or yelling at anyone, and about 5 minutes into the call, the police arrive. After the woman frantically identifies Lyndon Mieni, he attacks the cops and they fight before he gets fatally shot down on call. Don Spirit. On September 18, 2014, Don Spirit called 911 and announced that he had fatally shot his daughter and her 6 kids. He says that he just shot his daughter and 2 grandkids and that he'll be sitting on the steps. And when they get there, he's going to shoot himself. After the police arrived, they had a brief verbal exchange before he delivered himself a fatal gunshot wound to the head. Kevin Cosgrove. One of the most famous, or infamous, disturbing 911 calls. During 9/11, Kevin Cosgrove called from one of the Twin Towers, exclaiming, "Oh God, oh," just before the line goes dead as the tower collapses. Siobhan Thomas. In Camden, New Jersey on August 22, 2012, Siobhan Thomas first called 911 stating her boyfriend stabbed her 2-year-old son before recanting that statement and explaining that she brutally decapitated him. She then ended her own life. William Miller. In Paulding County, Ohio, William R. Miller II called 911 and announced that he had shot his wife's grandson because he wouldn't get out when he told him to. He claimed that he was smoking a cigarette waiting in the garage for the police to come. He passed away in September of 2018 due to natural causes at the age of 73. John Formasano. In Newark, New Jersey, during August of 2019, Police Lieutenant John Formasano shot and killed his wife while still in police uniform. 2 witnesses called 911 detailing the same situation, that Formasano had his uniform on and that he just shot his wife. One claimed that she was currently dying on her front porch during the call. As of June 15, 2021, he has confessed to the crimes but has turned down a 40-year plea deal. Jaron D.P. During February of 2021 in Muskogee County, Oklahoma, Jaron Dejon Pridgen initiated a 911 call in which he identified himself as the assailant and asked for an ambulance in the mass shooting of 9 people, those being a woman and her 8 children, 5 of whom died from the attack. He was charged with the deaths of all 5 children and his brother, along with attempted murder for the woman. Sean Great. Sean Great was a notorious serial killer who murdered a minimum 5 women in northern Ohio from 2006 to 2016 when he was caught due to this 911 call. A victim of his survived and called 911, identifying him and explaining how he escaped. He is currently sentenced to death. Alicia Englert. In August of 2014, a neighbor of Alicia Marie Englert called 911, frantically explaining that she had found a newborn baby girl in the trash. The baby did survive, and Alicia Englert has been repeatedly found not competent to stand trial since. Adam Lanza. On December 14, 2012 in Newtown, Connecticut, Adam Lanza walked into the Sandy Hook Elementary School and gunned down children and staff, killing 26 people in total. He then took his own life. This entry is talking about 911 calls made during the shooting. Christy Sheets. On June 24, 2016, Christy Sheets fatally gunned down her daughters Taylor and Madison before turning the gun on herself. In one 911 call made during the event, you can hear the father begging the mother not to shoot before the line goes dead. He was the only one that wasn't shot, and he ran to a neighbor's house for help. Louis Daines. A man who stabbed a 14-year-old and then told operators that he killed him. I am so surprised that happened on this list. If you don't know who Louis Daines is, he is a guy that basically made friends with this kid online. I don't remember what game it was through. It could have been through Halo. I really don't remember, but he made friends with this kid through a game online. They ended up realizing that they were relatively close to each other. They were both in England, and basically what happened was the kid came over to his house. He stabbed the kid a bunch of times. I don't remember how many times. I don't remember much about it at all. All I remember is that on the 911 call, he does say that they had a fight and that only one of them came out alive. That's exactly how it describes it. So nobody knows, as far as I can remember, if he purposefully killed him, although it's pretty likely he did. Patty Nelson, teacher who called during the Columbine shooting, might have been killed during the call itself. As far as I know, Patty Nielsen did in fact survive. I'm pretty sure they actually interviewed her after the Columbine massacre because she does talk about her time in the library. So, there you go. John Gallegos, man trapped under a crane who called 911 as he was trapped. He did live, first of all. He did live. He thought he died, but he didn't, of course, and he did testify about this accident in court. Imagine just chilling in your house and all of a sudden a crane falls through it and you're just trapped under it. Eric Hummel, man who inadvertently shot his daughter in the head while teaching his sons about gun safety. How ironic. Eric Hummel, 34, accidentally shot and killed his daughter, Olivia Hummel, on June 10th. 2017. The most recent article I can find from 2018 from the Chicago Tribune just says that his case continues. I have no idea. Murder cases always take forever. What do I have to say about this iceberg? It taught me a lot that I didn't know. It made me look at a lot of 911 cases that I didn't know about. I hope you learned something from this, and I hope that it entertained you, because I don't think it really made you feel very positive about anything. However, I would like to say yet again, thank you to the creator of this iceberg, GreenieBoy72, and the Reddit user, Not an Octopus, for his comment that pretty much explained all of them, even though I did a tiny bit of extra research. Shout out to everybody else that also watched this video, of course, and everyone that left a like, all that type of stuff. I appreciate all of you. and I need to hurry up and get sponsored. That's really all I gotta say. Have a good day. Bye.